All right. So, we want to talk about you have been, first of all, I'm Arlene McLaren. I'm a life and business coach, and I help you move forward in your business project or endeavor. So, if you have always wanted to start a business, but you just haven't started it, or you already have started your business, but you want to 10x your business, take it to the next level, you want to increase your revenue in that business and go from a 6 to 7 figure earner, then you are in the right place. Now, today I'm talking about something a little bit different. And many people say, well, why are you talking about this, Arlene? You're a business coach, you are a life coach. But I think one of the real key secrets that I have learned along the way, and I'm sharing with you, and I'm also still learning, is this concept that our relationships and our marriages are of utmost importance. If you want utmost importance, if you want to move forward in your career and you truly want to crush it, or you want to move forward in business and you want to go from that 6 to 7 figure platform, it makes sense to keep your house intact. All right. This is not an understatement. When we get married, one of the three things that affect our marriages in the biggest way is our communication, our age, and our intimacy. Okay, communication, age, and intimacy. And a lot of people say, well, I am great at raising my kids and I'm great in my career, but I'm just not so good in my marital relationship. Or I am great in my marriage, but I'm not so good in my career. I'm working on my career, but I'm a great mom. Well, guess what? We need to have all three, and we need to do all three to the best of our ability. So what am I talking about today? Today I'm specifically zoning in on, if you're already married, what are some things that you can do to stay married? Because we want to raise great kids and we want our kids to stay married. We want our kids to have happy relationships. We want our kids to be raised in homes where there's the maximum amount of funds to be able to send them to good schools and good programs and to do the vacations and the fun things that we would like to do. I have one of my clients who is most of my clients are business owners, but she is a go get it kind of young lady. And she says these kinds of things are fluff. So she is focused on like killing it. I'm killing it. I'm hitting the ground running. I'm making things happen. Yes, you want to kill it, hit the ground running and making things happen, but you don't want to go to the best of schools. You don't want to invest in your business and invest in yourself and do all of these great things. And then you have to give away half of what you've earned because your marriage is broken up. And now you guys have to split everything that you have built. Okay. Or maybe you're not even splitting it. Maybe all of it goes out. 90% of it goes out on your legal fees, just going through a divorce. So that's why I'm talking about it today. What are some things that we can do? And I'm just going to tell you 3 quick things that we can do in order to keep our marriages together, guys. We need to look at the next generation and we need to hone in on some things that we can do to help them. So even if we're not helping ourselves because you're like me and you have already gone through a divorce and you're on your next level of marriage or your next marriage, I'm sharing with you some of the things that I have learned, and I want you to type in the chat and share with me some things that you have learned that have helped you to stay married. Yes, I want you to type it. Tell me, what have you done that has helped you to stay married? Because I believe that this is of paramount importance. So everybody heard of Kevin Samuel, and he's telling you, how to hook up and, how to get that partner and that you may not be worthy. I'm talking to people who already know that they want to be married and they perhaps have already been married and they know some things that have worked. So why do I say age? Statistics have shown us that the socioeconomic level of the person when they get married, in terms of not the socioeconomic level, but the academic level that they are at when they get married, impacts whether or not they stay married. Oh, yeah. Could that be? It's a fact. So if you want to stay married and you want to be on the 50% that is in, the idea is to educate yourself about marriage and how to make it last. Also, if you are over the age of 30 and between the ages of 30 and 50, these are the ages in which people get married and they're more likely to stay married. Why is that, Arlene? Because up until the age of 25, our brains are actually still developing. So if you're a young person of 23, like I was when I got married, you are not the same person that you're going to be at 40 even, or at 50. So, or even at 30. Your brain is still developing. You're still deciding who you are, where you want to go, what you want to be. And so, as amazing as you are, as beautiful and as phenomenal as we are at those young ages, we don't really know who we are. So it's very difficult for us to pick a partner that is going to be with us for the long haul. Now, does that mean we can't? No, of course it doesn't mean we can't. I'm just saying that if you're less than 25, chances are we need to really hone those skills in terms of who we are and what we want in life, so that we look for a partner that mirrors where we're going, right? And also that we can mirror where they're going, because if they're younger than that, then what they tell you today may not be what they're interested in when they get to that other age. And so it's very hard to be on par, because remember, marriage is a union between two people. How are you going to be on the same page if he doesn't even know where he's supposed to be or where he wants to be? So secret number one, age is important. All right, look at the statistics. The statistics say that if you're over the age of 25, ideally, you will have a better idea of who you are and where you want to go. And secondly, I said that one of the things that's really important that I learned, in addition to age, okay, is this concept of competition. Like, why is it that we are in competition in our marriages? So you're listening to me and you're like, I'm not in competition with my husband, please, because you've gotten over that hump, right? What are some things that you did that you could share with us, share with the rest of us, that aided you so that you weren't in competition with your partner, you weren't in competition with your mate, and you were able to, table your arguments or argue agreeably so that you could then focus on your business and focus on your family and focus on who you are and where you want to go, as opposed to bringing out the big guns and blazing at your partner. So that's really one of the things that I have learned in my journey. Just your competitive edge and your competitiveness is great. Use that for the board games. Use that for playing, with your partner in terms of, something fun, right? So you're skiing together and you're competing as you ski down the slopes, or you're competing when you play those games, but not in terms of your relationship, okay? This is sacred. If this is truly the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life, and you pull out the big guns and blast them, you may not have anything left, okay? Because your partner may get up and leave. And I don't mean like leave the relationship, because they may still be there, but they may have left because of the hurt that you inflicted on them, right? And vice versa. The hurt that they inflicted on you. So it's important that we be competitive, because we're competitive in our business. Anybody listening to this, anybody in this group is already somebody who is looking to move forward and get ahead. So you already have a competitive edge and a competitive spirit, but we don't want to use it in our relationships. We don't want to go full blast on our partner. All right. Another thing that I have learned, and I want you to type in and tell me, what are some things? Because some of you have been married for 30 years, 20 years. Type and tell me some things that you have done in your marriage that you think have worked, because people need your help. People need to hear from you. All right, I'm sharing this because I realize how important it is. We can go to great schools, we can build great families and houses and take care of our kids, and then lose everything in a divorce. Lose everything when we lose that relationship. Or you're spending money on that woman too. You may be a man. You're spending money on that woman, and this is not the woman that you're going to be with for the rest of your life. So all that investment of funds is gone to the dogs. All right. What is one of the secrets that I learned? 90 minutes. When you are in a relationship, a marital relationship, and you want it to last, you should spend a minimum of 90 minutes per week with your partner. What are you doing in that 90-minute time span? Well, you're planning for the week. We're planning where it is that you want to go, what it is that you want to do. What are your big goals, your short-term goals, your long-term goals? What is it that you want? Because if we're planning together during those 90 minutes, then as the week goes on and the week progresses, you're thinking about that goal. You're thinking about this vision that the two of you have together. So let's say your goal is to have that beautiful mansion, upgrade, go to the next level. You want a mansion on a hill overlooking the water. And I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying if it is. This week, we're meeting with the financial planner, all right? Because we want to ensure that we get our finances in order to make that step. of investing in ourselves so that we can get where we want to go. So all this week, we're thinking about, okay, do I have all of the paperwork together? Do I have as much put aside as possible so that I look as positively as possible to my financial planner for this future goal that we have, for this future thing that we're looking to achieve? Yes. So now you're thinking about your partner, you're thinking about your relationship. You're not bored in the relationship because you have a goal, you have a vision. How many relationships have died literally just because they have no focus, they have no goal, they have no mutual goal? So you should have your individual goals. So I should share with my partner and he needs to be willing to listen, and vice versa. Okay, if you're with somebody who doesn't want to hear your goal and is not interested, he just wants you to support him in his goal, that's probably not going to last either. You both need individual goals and you both need goals as a partnership, all right? So that we can move forward. And if we don't have that 90 minutes, then we need to get it. And that's not a maximum. This is a minimum for the whole week, all right? Every single day. If you can't find 90 minutes to spend with your partner, then statistics say that it will not last. Okay, and you will be spending that money that you don't want to spend on that coach, you will be spending it on your divorce. All right, so spend the time investing, because our kids need that longevous relationship that they can partner from, that they can learn from. All right, so in line with that 90 minutes, what are you talking about? You're talking about your goals, but you're also talking intimacy. Everybody here who's listening is an adult. If you want a longevous marriage, we have to plan our intimacy. We have to plan our intimacy, okay? Because you're ripping and running. You're, trying to change the world, and you have kids, and you have your job, and you have your business, and you have, your social responsibilities. If we don't plan that part of our relationship, it can possibly die. And if it dies, then that's when the little foxes have an opportunity to come in. All right. Nobody really wants to be in a relationship that's dead. Now, some people will stay, but we're talking about marriages that work and marriages that bloom. We need to plan it. Did I say plan your intimacy? Guys, plan your intimacy. Statistics say that if you plan it, then at least that's not something else that you have to worry about. That's one less thing that you have to worry about, because you know when it's going to happen. So statistics say minimum one time, preferably 2 times a week. Yeah. So we talked about the first one, which is age. There's a specific age range because, like I said, your mind is still formulating up until the age of 25. So you really don't know who you're going to be or what it is that you truly want, because your mind is changing. Who you are at 25 is not who you are at 50. So the longer you wait to get married, the greater the likelihood that you'll be able to stay married. Secondly, we said your academic background. If you're more well-educated, the likelihood of you staying married is greater. And thirdly, we said you don't want to look at your partner as a competitor, but you want to look at your partner as a partner. Your partner is not let's just leave it at that. Your partner is your partner. Okay? So you don't want to full on blaze your guns at your partner if you truly want to have a longevous marriage. And I honestly believe that of all the things that you can do to win at the game of life, one of the key things that you can do is pick wisely in terms of your marriage. Okay, so we said these 3 things impact marriage in a greater way. And I want you to share with me what you have done in your marriage that has worked, because we have people in our group, our Millionaire Mastermind group, our various groups that have been married for many, many years. And if you look at people who are very successful, like there's the book, The Millionaire Next Door, these people have been married for lots and lots of years to the same person, okay? To the same person. When you have goals and dreams that you're working on together, the likelihood of you staying together is greater. That's the glue. So you may be talking to your partner during this 90 minutes and you're sharing your goals and your dreams, but is your partner sharing with you? Is he telling you what he wants? And are you supporting him in what he wants? Or are you talking about this business and this dream and this vision, and you think he's on the same page, but he's really not on the same page because he hasn't told you what it is that he wants? And because as women, we tend to be more emotive and talk more freely, sometimes we're talking and we think the other person, because they're sitting there listening and shaking their head, that they agree with us. But that may not be an agreement. That may just be an acknowledgement of what we said. So it's really important as we move forward in this longevous relationship that we are both sharing our dreams and our goals, and that we're supporting each other in that vision. So we said intimacy, we said conversation 90-minute minimum, we said the age range because the brain is developing at a certain pace up until the age of 25. We said, oh, put down the devices. Put down the devices, guys. They say that so many of the marriages fail because people are making love to the phone, especially in this age of like Tinder and that kind of thing. It's so easy to be in a relationship, and it's easier. It's easier. I hate to say this. Should I say this? Yes, I'm going to say it. It's easier to go to bed with somebody that you met online than it is to build a relationship with someone for 10, 20 years, 30 years, and really have an intimate relationship with that person. It's crazy. It's harder to have a conversation with somebody these days, an intimate conversation, than it is to go to bed with somebody. Yeah, that's what statistics show. In this age of Tinder and all that great stuff, they say 90% of the women who, and it was just women that the statistics talked about, not men, but 90% of women over the age of 30 have already engaged in, activities before they're married. So we're all like past that stage where, our parents were in, where we're going to just sit and believe that in this world, people aren't, engaging, and that this person that we get is just going to, wear the white robe and just be totally oblivious to what's going on. We have to be aware of what's going on. We got to be aware and learn these tools and tips to move forward. Now, if you're watching this show, there are so many of you watching right now. I need you to tell me what you did in your marriage that worked. Yeah. What worked that helped you to stay married for all those years? People need your help. People need to hear from you. We're building we're building empires, businesses, we're raising kids. But if nobody talks about the challenges that we're having, then how do we move forward in our businesses and in our careers? Our relationships and our homes impact us. They greatly impact where we end up. So I want you to type now and tell me, what are some things that have worked for you? So I've done a little research because, like I said, I had a failed first marriage. My first marriage did not go well. And one of the things that I did was, the third thing was competition, like not being in competition with your partner. Many people's marriages and relationships are on demise because they're competing with each other. Who do you think you are? I got a bigger gun than you. I can shoot bigger than you. So in my marriage, I did the complete opposite. I was mute when it came to complaints. My partner shared his complaints with me and I listened, but I never shared my complaints with him. And I thought by my not sharing, then my marriage would last longer. But guess what, guys? Eventually, one day, I got up and I hit the ceiling because I had been dealing with all this. I was collecting all of this stuff. And then eventually I couldn't collect it anymore. And I had to tune out and tune off. And I tuned off before I walked out. But if we communicate and we spend that minimum of the 90 minutes sharing our thoughts in that 90 minutes of what we want, what our goals are, what our dreams are, what our visions are, then the likelihood that we can have this longevous marriage is greater. And remember, happy home, happy life. So if you're building this empire, you have this 6 to 7 figure business, right? But your home life is of sorts, it's not in order, then you're not going to be happy. You're not going to have joy, right? But if you can have joy in your home, the likelihood that you can move forward and build is that much greater, okay? Because now we have a platform, we have a base from which to move forward, right? So that's really important to have that steady base. And I know the people that listen to our group tend to be people who are mature in age anyway, and who tend to have families anyway. And so perhaps you already have that base. But then there are some people who don't. And we want to be able to touch, move, and inspire those people who are a part of our group, our Millionaire Mastermind, or platform, who are not there yet. So I'm spending time today asking you, what are some things that you have done in your marriage that have worked? Share with us what you have done. Okay, so there are experts out there who have never been married, and they're telling us how to live and how to have longevous marriages and how to expand. But they've never been married, guys. You who have been married need to type and share with us. All right, what are some other things that we learned? We said the 90 minutes. We said after the age of 25, your brain is now finally being developed. Another thing is put down the devices and speak, communicate. You should have your individual plan and you should have your plan for the relationship. And each week you're talking about the relationship and what you plan to do in future. Another one is the intimacy. Make sure that statistics say you should be intimate a minimum of 1 time per week, preferably 2 times per week with your partner so that you don't allow the little foxes to come in. Oh, and this was a key secret. They said reliability. Reliability. What do you mean reliability? Your ability to rely on your partner greatly impacted whether or not you stayed married. If you are able to rely on your partner and you know that your partner has your back and that person will be there for you if you need them, if and when you need them, then the likelihood of you staying married is greater. So the secret is don't plan and say you're going to do something that you know you can't do. All right. It's better to under promise and over deliver rather than over promise and under deliver. So if you know that you have a partner that loves to, what are some things that have happened to me? Okay. I'm going to try to tell you a story. I don't want to get too intimate, but let's say I needed my partner. Okay, something simple. I need my partner to put gas in the car because I am going on a long trip to the airport and I need to have gas in my car. And I know that if I ask my partner to put gas in the car, he'll put gas in the car. I can rely on him. My marriage is more likely to last than if I have a partner where I ask him to put gas in the car. He says he's going to put gas in the car, but he doesn't put gas in the car. Is it that simple? Could it really be that simple that our marriages are just being destroyed because we're not reliable? Yeah. Statistics are saying that it's that simple. Marry somebody who you believe truly has your back. And if you don't believe that that person truly has your back and will be there for you and do what they say they're going to do, you're probably not going to have a longevous marriage. And if you don't have a longevous marriage, then how are you going to build your business? How are you going to build your empire and move forward with the funds that you already have? No, you're going to be spending those funds out in divorce. You're going to be spending those funds out in legal fees. So is what I'm saying relevant to building that life that you truly want to live? Yes. The number one thing that you need in order to win at the game of life is to have a marital relationship or relationship, because some of you may not get married, but a relationship in which you feel like you can rely on that person. Reliability is key. All right. So talk about it during that 90-minute conversation that you're having every week. And remember, the 90 minutes is the minimum. It's not the maximum. So therefore, we need to under promise and over deliver. Under promise and over deliver. All right. What's another one that we got from the research? Another thing that I found from the research is that people are in a power struggle. Power struggle. It's called, what was the name of the lady who did that song, RESPECT? Respect. And then they made the movie. Then the movie was called Respect. Well, that's in line with this power struggle. All right. Who has power in the relationship determines whether or not you have a longevous relationship. The statistics say that if you and your partner are on par, okay, and you're sharing the power, that you're that much likely to stay married. If you are not sharing the power, then it's going to be more challenging. And also, the men who are able to share power with their wives tend to be better parents. They tend to be better fathers to their kids as well. So while you're picking, look at somebody who will be willing to share power with you. Okay. And if you have already picked, then let's see if we can discuss it. All right. And see if we can share power with each other. Okay. So he has responsibilities. You have responsibilities, right? She has responsibilities and you have responsibilities, and you share the power. All right. And we look at each other as a team where we're reliable and we're a team. And we said their age thing is important. So these are 7 things that I have found in my research that they say have helped people to maintain more longevous marriages. All right. So I think it's really important. This is really, really key. And I share from my own personal perspective, whereas when I got divorced, it cost me a lot. It cost me in terms of time, it cost me in terms of my mental health, and it cost a lot of money. So a lot of what I had accumulated, with the houses and the cars and the investments, all of that went to pot when we got divorced. So if you want to be able to have those funds for your children and for your family, this is really, really important. And so a lot of people spend a lot of time looking at schools that they go to and, looking at that top job and looking at the top spaces and places. But if we can get this in order, then all of that other stuff you'll be more likely to keep. Because remember, wealth is not about what you build, but it's about how much you get to keep. Okay? So if you are a doctor and you are spending at, astronomical rates, you're still poor. You may still go bankrupt because you're not able to keep what you have earned. And this area of marriage, okay, is key. They say the three top stressors that you will have in your life is divorce, death of a spouse. Okay. And a lot of people say, oh, well, loss of a job, that's the key. I'm sharing with you from my own personal experience that divorce cost me more than anything else in my life. More important than where I went to college, more important, which I went to a great college and I spent lots of money on college, more important than the top job that I had working in the government, more important than any of the other things was who it was that I married. That greatly impacted my finances and how I, quote unquote, win friends and influence people. So these 5 tools that I have shared with you are based on science and based on research. And a lot of people aren't talking about it. But we want to be in that 50% that stays and not that 50% that has the marriage destroyed. So I want you to type in and tell me if you are currently married and you've done something that really worked outside of those 5 secrets that I've shared with you today, then type and tell us what it was that you did that was able to help you to win at your marriage, that helped you to have that longevous marriage. And I know the people in my Millionaire Mastermind group, a lot of you have been married for a lot of years, and a lot of people need help. We need help. All right. So I'm sharing what I've done in terms of my research and what I have learned, but I also want to hear what you guys have found. And this is a quick way to just share your insight, a quick way to just, be able to help us to move forward. So a lot of times people say, I guess the point that I'm making, guys, is that if I've not made it clearly enough, this is of paramount importance. If you're not married, do the research, all right? And make sure that you're getting involved with somebody who is going to be able to stand the test of time with you. And if the person is willing to talk with you about it and spend that intimate time on the front end, then chances are they'll be willing to spend that intimate time on the back end. But if on the front end, he or she is not willing to spend time to really get to know you and to really determine your goals and your dreams and your visions, once you get married and you've been married for 10 years, the likelihood of him or her listening to you and working with you is going to be even that much greater. There's going to be even that much more of a pull and a tug. And if we can have peace in our homes, then when we have to face the storms outside, we'll be more able to handle those storms. All right. So that's really all I have for you. Those 7 things. A lot of people say once they get married, they're going to settle down. Don't think of it as settle down. Think of it as strive up. Once we get married, we're going to strive up. We need families. We need strong families within our community. Okay. And so I am on a mission to ensure that I share some of the mistakes that I've made along the way with my marriage. Like I said, I was very young when I got married, and also ask you, what are some things that you did that worked well, so that you can share with us some of the things that you did that worked well. And if you're a millennial and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to be married, I'll just live together, statistics show that that's where you are, that you're thinking, I don't necessarily have to get married. You should still work on that. It's a good thing to have somebody to have your back, someone that you can rely on. All right. Someone who is there for you. And what happens oftentimes is that person who you think is going to be there for you has shown you on the front end that the person is fickle. So if the person is fickle and they can't keep their word, they're probably not a great person to marry. Yeah. Yeah, Susie Q. Yes, handsome prince. If she's not reliable, don't marry her. Find someone that is. Oh, and this was a big one. Don't marry for love. Did you say that, Arlene? Don't marry for love? Yes. Don't marry for love. Those EBGBs and that excitement and all of that stuff, that stuff can fizzle away. But if you marry for some of those deeper characteristics, the likelihood of the marriage lasting is greater. And also find out what your non-negotiables are on the front end. Like some people may say, listen, if you cut your hair and you're walking around with a teeny weeny afro, then that's not really what I find attractive. And I'm not going to want to be married to somebody like that because I really, really love that about you. Then it's good to know on the front end that that's a non-negotiable. I heard a story this week where a man had dreads, long dreads, and he cut off his dreads. And believe it or not, his wife didn't want to be married to him anymore. She said she wasn't attracted to him because that was one of the things that attracted her. So let's find out what our non-negotiables are in a relationship before we move forward into marriage. And that's what some of the things that you're going to discuss during those weekly 90-minute sessions. All right. Thank you so much for spending the time with me today. And we're going to really delve into this. All right. And like I said, I have this program. It's called Be on TV in 30 Days. If you're interested in being on television and sharing your dreams, your goals, your visions, or your business so that you can do better in that business, I want you to go to askarleneshow.com and sign up. Actually, the link is bit.ly, and I'm going to type it in here. The link is bit.ly/be on TV in 30 days. Yeah, be on TV in 30 days. So I'm inviting you to go on there and share with me your information so that we can get you this information and you can begin to share with the world your true goals, your true visions, your dreams, and be able to impact the world in the way that you're supposed to. Thank you so much for spending this time. I also ask you to go to Ask Arlene Show on YouTube and subscribe to Ask Arlene Show on YouTube, where we talk a lot about how to manifest your goals and manifest your dreams. I talk a lot about the law of attraction and starting that business if you don't have it already, and growing the business if you already have the business. And it's just important that we tweak. Chances are you have 90% already in order, and you just need that 10% of tweaking in order to really move forward and in order to really blow up. We had a live coaching session a couple of weeks ago where I had one of my key business owners on, and she was able to unlock some of her limiting beliefs that had been hindering her business from moving forward. She's very successful now, but after that coaching session live, you were able to see how sometimes we have these limiting beliefs in our mind, and they're living there, they're housed there, they're at home and comfortable and cozy, and they're preventing us from really branching out and moving forward in the way that we need to. So we can either keep them to ourselves and continue to go on our merry little way and stay the status quo, or we can get a coach and share and talk and let those thoughts out, okay? And be able to set up a plan to move forward in a bigger, better, brighter way. And that's what happened in that coaching session. So I'm inviting you to go over to Ask Arlene Show on YouTube, click on the link and see that last or most recent post. And I'm gonna, when I do the replay, I'll put the little link in the suggestion box so that you can go to the link and watch that video as well and see how impactful it can be to release those limiting beliefs in order to go up and glow up. And like I said, television is a way for you to share your visions and be able to expand. And link up with more people, because the more people that hear your goals and hear your vision and hear what you have accomplished, the more that you can build your team, build your network, sell your products, share your books, share your thoughts and methodology, if that's what it is that you're endeavoring to share with the world. So I really believe that you can get on television within the next 30 days. If you click the link and sign up, we can share with you the information as to how you can do that. All right. Because that has truly impacted my business and has truly impacted me and my position that I hold in the world. Thank you so much. Like I said, you're going to share with me some of the things that you've done in the past that have worked for you. This is not a monologue. I want to have a dialogue with you. Those of you who have had good experiences, share. Those of you who have questions because you're endeavoring on getting into that marital relationship, or you want to be in that marital relationship and you're not sure, you have questions, go ahead and drop us a line and ask those questions so that I can help you, and also so that the team can help you. Because if it's not something that an area that I am in a coach in, I can share with you, contact information from some of our other coaches. If you go to our website at Ask Arlene Show, you can see on there all of the different, or many of the different coaches that have been on our show and that are affiliated with us, and be able to connect with them and link up with them. All right. Remember that you don't have to do life alone. You shouldn't do life alone, right? There's no reason to. We have a community here, a supportive community where you can get answers to questions that you have, move forward, and change not only your life, but be able to change the world. Thank you for spending this time with me. Once again, it's askarleneshow.com. Drop us a line and let us know where you are, and we will be back with you live next week, Monday. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.